Awesome, awesome, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Tasha M. Dyer, the Trade Whisperer, creator of the BYOB Cash Out Strategy. And let's walk in our affirmations. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'm excited about the market today. This morning on the call, we talked about what a phenomenal day we were going to have in the market. We talked about, you know, what was going to transpire just a little bit, but the market opened up a little slow, right? The market opened up a very quiet market because there were some things that we were talking about. Now, before we dive into that, the reason I brought that up before the affirmations is I want you to understand the power of your mindset, the power of why we do our affirmations, the power of why we have to walk in what we walk in, all right? And so when I ask you to drop it in the chat, when we ask you to drop it in the chat, see, it's biblical. That's Christ. That's the word that says that we have to write it out and make it plain. I didn't say that that's what has to happen. That's what's in the word, because we have all these thoughts in our head, and all of these are just thoughts. And we can just, you have to write it out. You have to write it down. So yes, drop it in the chat. You want to drop it in the chat. Now, what are your affirmations? Tonight is BYOB basics. We're taking it to the basics, the foundation, so we're going to understand what this is and what it magnifies. Now, I am a BYOB master trader. What is BYOB? Why do we proclaim and why do we declare and decree that we are BYOB master traders? Now, be your own bank. We're affirming that we are the big bank. We're affirming that we are the big bank, right? 1 million families financially educated and impacted. So we are the big bank. We are part of the largest economic empowerment movement. So this is what you want to affirm. If we are the largest economic empowerment movement, that means that you are personally empowered. You are personally empowered. You are personally the one that is definitely going to walk this thing out on purpose. You are going to make withdrawals from the market, because that's what big banks do. Big banks make withdrawals. Big banks pull out of the market. So mindset, you are affirming, you're declaring and decreeing that I am BYOB. I am BYOB. I am part of the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. So we have to make sure that we affirm that. Now, as we affirm that and you understand that's what's happening, then, you know, I am a BYOB master trader. I am the signal. Now, why do I want to be the signal? I want to be the signal because this is what we always understand, that if I'm the signal, then I get to understand I have a relationship with the market. What is this called? It's called BYOB Market Talks. So I am actually understanding how to navigate the market. I am understanding what comes from the market. I have a relationship, which means that I understand how the market is going to move. That's the relationship that you're affirming. I am the signal. All of my trades in profit, okay? All of my trades in profit. So yes, losses are a part of trading, but losing isn't. Did you catch that? Losses happen in trading, but losing is not what happens. So if all my trades in profit, you understand that you declare and decree that when I'm journaling, I'm doing all of these things, I'm putting in those actions, and you see that you are wealthy. You see what's transpiring in your trade account, as opposed to you focus on a loss, right? We're at a 92% accuracy rate. So mindset, you see where we are this evening. And then I am 777. Now 777, that's that prosperity, right? That's what that is. That's that withdrawal from the market. And you want to go back and listen to I Am 777, which is a talk with the finance doctor. Now, for all of you all joining us this evening, this is a power-packed evening because we're about to dive into BYOB Market Talks. And right after BYOB Market Talks, we're jumping into a talk with the finance doctor. That's the why behind the what, your RX for Forex. So you definitely want to make sure that you stay plugged in and that you stay on, you know, you're here. So now, as you're logging on, I just want to know who's on the line this evening. Let me get a 111 in the chat. 111 in the chat if this is your first time with us this evening, and let me get a 222 if you're still learning how to cash out. All right, drop those numbers. I see you. I see you. Keep dropping it. All right, all right. There we go. So your first time on here, and you're still learning how to cash out. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yes, losses happen, but losing isn't. So just remember that. I see you guys typing that in the chat too. So yes, you want to make sure that. So let me go ahead and get my screen share together for you guys. You know, let me get my screen share together. I'm sharing my screen. All right, here we go. We are here now. There we go. Here we go. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the power and the magnitude behind this tool. Okay? The power and the magnitude behind this tool. There you guys, keep dropping it in the chat. Let me welcome each and every last one of you all, okay? I'm going to welcome all of you all. We got quite a few of you all that are joining us for the first time. And I want to officially welcome you. So what we're going to do as we dive into here, what we're looking at is the vibrato. So we got quite a few new people on here this evening. Definitely want to welcome all of you. But I want to, because we're talking about basics, we just talked about your mindset. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share with you the power behind the tool, because what you're looking at right here is the BYOB cash out, and we'll dive into that. But I'm going to start this call out with you understanding the power and the magnitude behind this tool. Now we're declaring and decreeing that we are BYOB master traders. So the visionary behind the movement, of course, is Mr. Gerald D. Rogers, and what you're seeing right here is him speaking. This is what you see when you log onto the Vibrato. And just so you understand just a little bit about who he is, his background is in investment banking. What does that mean to you? Why is he the spokesperson? Well, this tool was actually vetted. It was back tested, you know, it's vetted and compared to what the big banks of the world utilize. So when you really think about the power and the magnitude behind what you have in your hands, you think about the power and the magnitude of what this tool is able to do for you, being a premier tool. So you understand why when we take our trades, why we bring everything back to the Vibrato. Why when we learn and we go in and we dive in and we touch on everything that's a part of the academy, a part of the company, there's some phenomenal things within the academy, but we bring it all back to the Vibrato because of the vetting, because of what it is, because of what this tool is. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play this video so you can understand the power and the magnitude behind that.
Wow, folks, I'm just absolutely amazed to know that I'm a part of an organization looking to empower and impact lives across the globe. I've been in this space for over 20 years, commercial banking, lending, and when I look at the web analyzer in comparison to what the big banks of the world utilize, that web analyzer is equivalent, far exceeds the expectation that I was anticipating after having that experience on the investment market. So folks, for those of you who don't understand the magnitude of what you have your hands on, I encourage you, I challenge you to take a deeper dive and realize that literally you have in your own hands the power to become your own bank and allow us to be your partner, to empower you economically, financially, and leave a true legacy.
So wow, you understand the power of this tool now. So I just really want you to understand the power of what you actually have in your hands. So now let's talk about the BYOB cash out strategy. Now this strategy, yes, I created it. And I'm telling you guys, we had a phenomenal day in the market today. Just phenomenal. So, but when we're talking about the BYOB cash out strategy, let's go ahead and start from here. Now, this is a basics evening. So because of that, we want to make sure you understand it. So if you got a question, drop it in the chat. We'll get it answered for you. So I'll definitely get those questions answered for you, because we want to make sure that you truly understand the power behind what's in your hands. So what is a BYOB cash out? Now, here we have the stochastic, we got the Hikinashi candles, and we have the PSAR. The PSAR are these dots. These are the little dots that's here. And then of course I got my Hikanashi candles. I can actually change them to Japanese candles. I really want you to understand what you're looking at. Now, Japanese candles, you see, you have to figure them out, right? We've done training on this. We teach you how to read the candles, how the market moves. But at the same time, I want you to understand what a translator is for. So just think, if I didn't speak Spanish, I would need a translator. They would actually enable me to have a conversation with someone, right? That's what would happen. Now, that translator, the person doing the translation, would enable me to have a conversation with someone who speaks Spanish, and we would have a very productive conversation because of the simple fact that I have a translator involved. Well, guess what? That's what my Hikanashi candles are. My Hikanashi candles translate for me. So they translate. So when you're trying to read the candles, you're looking at it, oh, is that a doji? Is that an engulfing candle? What is this? Well, they translate. They're trend candles. However, in that translation, right, in that translation, what happens is that makes them a lagging indicator. All right, that makes them a lagging indicator. So now we know that they're a lagging indicator. My PSAR is a lagging indicator. My stochastic is a leading indicator. So this is why we're always looking at the PSAR first, okay? The stochastic, the stochastic, I'm pointing at the stochastic, but looking at the PSAR. This is why we always look at the stochastic first, because it's a leading indicator. Now, these two can happen in any order, okay? They can happen in any order. So as I'm looking at this, I want to understand. So I got my stochastic, which is my blue line cross over the red and upward momentum. So once that happens, I know I'm looking for a buy. If it happens over here around the 80 and it's looking for a sell, then what does that mean? Around the 80 means I'm looking for a sell. So I have to have that blue line cross over the red. I definitely have to have this blue line cross over the red, okay? That's what this is an indication of. Now, right here, I got a green candle with a flat bottom. You notice that this is that translation. It actually tells me when I can get into the trade. I actually had a green candle with a flat bottom right here, but now what you're seeing is I don't have a PSAR flip. I do not have a PSAR flip until I get right here. So this is where the market tells me that I'm eligible. I can get into the trade, okay? I can get into the trade. This is what we're looking at. Now, I'm not getting in a trade right then and there. I'm not doing it. Now, why is that? Because I need to do my time frame confluence. I need to check that. What happens, what the market is saying. Understand the higher time frames tell me what the market's doing. The higher time frames give me the market structure. My higher time frames tell me exactly what's transpiring with the market. It's my lower time frames that you see all the activity and the movement. So while yes, we do see that it played out because of where it's at. As a matter of fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or did I pick the wrong one? All this is new. Yep, this was right here. It was an alert. So you can also see, I'm gonna pause, move too slow. We're gonna go back and we're gonna pause this EuroCAD right here, where you see that the vibrato actually called for it again. I'm gonna do this before we check our time frame confluence. I just wanna show you what the vibrato does mixed in with understanding, you know, how to properly use the tool and the strategy combined. So now what happens is the vibrato is going to call it as it hits different triggers as it rises in the market. That's what's going to happen. The vibrato is going to call it as it hits different triggers throughout the market. So I'm quite sure that if I look back and if I keep going, that I'll see EuroCAD again. I'll definitely see it again. As you see, you know, look what happened. See what I mean? We saw it again. 156, 156. We're going to put it on here. 156, 404. So you see, and so throughout the day, this has definitely been being called. So we can just keep scrolling through here, an hour and 9 minutes. So 171, oh no, I'm sorry, that's GBP-CAD. I'm looking at the wrong one. Hour and 13 minutes, 156,352. So you can just see 156,352, 156,352. So we understand that we have a buy. Okay, that's as far as I'm gonna go back right now. So I'm gonna unpause this. So we understand that we have a buy, but you can definitely see as it hits these different triggers, every time it hits a support and resistance line, what happened? The vibrato triggered it. So it's giving you, it's showing you where this actually goes for a buy. But let's back up for just a moment and let's check our time frame confluence. So if I drop down to my 5 minute, for this trade, it needs to still be buying. It needs to still be buying, okay? And you hear how I'm saying it. Still be buying. Because why does still be buying? Because if I look down on a 5 minute chart, it started first. It happened before the trigger happened on the 15 minute. So that's just how it works. The higher time frames tell me where the market's going. The lower time frames tell me the activity. It shows me all the movement. And that's why we get so many alerts that actually happen on the 5 minute. That's why we get so many alerts that actually transpire on the 5 minute. So that's what we mean by it needs to still be buying, because it already started. So still be means continuing. So just for clarity, I really want you to understand. So this actually began over here had I caught it on the 5 minute. So the vibrato does not catch time frame confluence. Is it? You have to check time frame confluence. Now, I'm gonna go to the hour, then I'm gonna explain something to you. Now let me go to my hour. When I go to my hour for the time frame confluence, the time frame confluence on the hour, it needs to look like it's going into a buy. So you see how we went from still be buying to look like it's going into. Still be buying, because the activity happens first. You see all the activity on the lower time frame first, and now look like, because the higher time frame needs to look like it's going into that. Now this one is perfect. Understand, every time you check your hour, it's not gonna look like this. Every time I check my hour, it's gonna be different. So remember, this is where we just declared and decreed that I am the signal, which means that I have a relationship with the market, which means that I understand, you know, what it is that I'm looking for. I understand, right? So that's what you declared and decreed. So right here, what you're seeing is the candles buy. Now you also see the stochastic is pointed up. You see that I have a green candle. I see that my stochastic is pointed up. So not only do I need confluence on my time frames, I need confluence on the actual chart. Because if this was selling like this is right here, my stochastic is still pointed down, and this is a green candle. Now we're looking at a doji candle, so this might have fluctuated between red and green and red and green, red and green. That's the reality of the world we live in. So, but this is green right now, so we're gonna go with green. So green, this is that means a buy. My stochastic says a sell. That's not confluence, because that's not confluence. We don't take that trade. Okay, I need confluence on the time frames, confluence on the chart. Confluence on the time frames, confluence on the chart. So the question is the vibrato. Does it not catch the time frame confluence? It's up to you to check. Absolutely. So understand, there are many strategies in here to trade. All right, there are many strategies. This one is the one I created. This one is the God brief strategy. So this is the one, the BYOB cash out strategy is the one that I created. And understanding that this is a God brief strategy, and understanding that what we do is we have to analyze it. So just for clarity and understanding, I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna open this up and I'm gonna select that, but I'm gonna change my screen share for you really, really quickly. Now look at this. When I look at this and we come through here, look at all these different strategies, okay? Look at all these different strategies that's in here, okay? So we want the BYOB cash out. We want BYOB cash out. Which one? Doesn't matter. We want BYOB cash out. So this is where you have to pick one of these strategies, and then you have to analyze the charts. So BYOB cash out strategy is a strategy that I created. And so that's the one we're talking about. So everything that comes with the analyzation of it, you know, everything that happens with the analyzation of the strategy is based on the creation of the BYOB cash out strategy. The vibrato is the vibrato. Now, you know, the vibrato scans the market. The vibrato is a phenomenal tool. BYOB cash out strategy is housed in the vibrato. So that should explain it. So you have to come through and you have to check these things. Now, the question you said, light bulb moment when you just explained confluence. Hallelujah. That's awesome. You guys know I love a testimony. So that's definitely you're building that relationship, and that's definitely going to help you in the markets, because what you're doing is creating that relationship with the market and understanding how it moves. So now, what the vibrato does, you can see that now, before I even go there first, 10 pips and cash out. I'm on a 15-minute chart. This is the foundation of where we begin trading. It's not where we stay trading. Now, you can stay trading there if that's what you want to do. You're a scalper, then fabulous. That's just where you stay. But if you're not a scalper, if you're not someone who just wants to scalp, you want to do higher time frames, like what I'm going to show you in just a moment, a trade from this morning that we actually got alerted from on the vibrato. Okay, when we look at that and we understand that, then what you're seeing, what you're seeing is the ability for you to take a trade. So 10 pips and cash out as I begin, because you want to be able to grab movement. It takes a little bit more analyzation to trade on the higher time frames, but anybody can get in here in the first 14 or 21 days, and you can begin to cash out with the BYOB cash out strategy. So I can do my 10 pips and cash out, or you trade to the next support resistance line. So 10 pips cash out, or trade to the next support and resistance line. You trade to that next support and resistance line, you're going to receive more than 10 pips, okay? So once you understand support and resistance line, that's going to help you get more than 10 pips, unless you just want to do 10 pips and cash out. You 10 pips and cash out, you can continue to do that. Now, when you get these triggers like the one we got right here, what typically happens is it's called in a pullback. So if this was called on the 5-minute, the 5-minute is in a pullback. I check my confluence on the 30-minute, the 30-minute is still in a buy. This is what triggered it. So it triggers on these different lines. So this helps you understand that this thing is still buying, it's still buying, it's still buying, it's still buying, okay? This is the BYOB cash out strategy. So before I move on, any questions, comments, testimonies, drop it in the chat. Questions, comments, testimonies, drop it in the chat. Okay, good question. So what we do, your stop loss, that will be your stop loss. So your stop loss goes outside of the PSAR, and thank you for catching that. So the stop loss goes outside of the PSAR. I get so excited about you guys taking a profit, but I do stress the stop loss, but I do need to tell you where it goes. The stop loss goes outside of the PSAR. Now, you don't want the stop loss in between the PSAR and the candles, okay? I do not want my stop loss in between here. So look at this. The market is telling you what the stop loss should be. The market is telling you what it should be and what it is. That's what the market is actually telling you. So the market is telling you what the stop loss should be. So now, so is on the training that said you don't trade in the market, go outside of the PSAR. So and that's why I just talked about it, because it's the way the question is worded. So if you look, you want the stop loss outside of the PSAR, okay? You want the stop loss outside of the PSAR. Now, if you notice, if the market's telling me where the momentum is, the market's telling me where the resistance is. This is a trailing stop loss. So the market is telling me, what it's doing. So with the market telling me what it's doing, what you're noticing is, look at this pullback, right? Look at what happened here. So this comes down, but it doesn't go outside of the PSAR. I have another one right here. We're going up into this buy before it hit the take profit up here. You notice that this comes down, it touches the PSAR. You'll hear me often say below the PSAR, but not above the PSAR, not in between. So below the PSAR, above the PSAR, not on the PSAR, not in between the PSAR. Okay, that's what that is. So if we're getting 10 pips and cashing out, how does the third candle with the wick affect the trade? That just means you're receiving some pullback. You would need to already be in a trade. So like if I was taking this sell right here, what you're talking about this, that just, by the time you see all of that, you put your phone down, you got to trust the process. So if you're concerned with the candles that happen after you begin to trade, this is where you just have to trust your analysis and trust the process. If you're concerned with these candles that happen in between the trade, then that is going to drive you crazy, okay? That's going to drive you crazy. Nothing moves in a straight line in the market. Absolutely not. It will never move in a straight line. You're always going to get, look at where we got the pullback. Look at where all this happened. It happens around a support and resistance line. So if I trust my analysis, because I am the signal, I do my buy, I set my take profit, I set my stop loss. So this is what happens. So it doesn't matter what time frame you're trading on. It's still the same, regardless of what time frame I'm trading on. So, and it's just please show the 15-minute time frame. So I would have started my trade from here. I would have started my trade from over here. But so you see, you got into the trade, but then we got pullback. Notice this one started way back here though. So this one started way back here. So if you would have took this trade, it came down, this one pulled back up. You see how you don't want your stop loss on the PSR? You see how we would have got stopped out possibly based on your broker. And then of course you want it above the PSR, and then of course it continued to sell down. This is part of trusting the process, because many of you guys spazzing out. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I'm in the red. No, we put our phone down. You're going to get out of the trade one way or another, which means I'm gonna get out of the trade with my take profit, or I'm gonna get out of the trade with my stop loss. Either way, you're coming out of the trade. So, all right. So I just explained the time frame confluence. How far back would I recommend it? You need whatever time frame I'm trading on. So let's say if I'm on a 15-minute chart, I'm checking a 5 and an hour. Now, for me, I will definitely, you know, because of the market conditions that we have, what you see me doing on the 5 a.m. call, because that's the call where we analyze more, we do more analyzation on those trades. So on the 5 a.m. call, what you're seeing is you're seeing me analyze the higher time frames. You're seeing me analyze the hour to 4 hour. You're seeing me analyze those things. And so as I'm analyzing those things, I'm analyzing to understand the market movement. But that's not for me to get into a trade. So like right here, yes, my confluence is on a 1 hour. And actually, you could have taken this trade from the 5-minute because of how it was triggered. Okay, we could have taken it from the 5-minute because of how it was triggered. But what we do a lot, like even looking at this one, you'll see us go to the hour just to understand where the market is, the big picture. And then of course, we'll check the 4 hour to understand the big picture of the market. That's not my time frame confluence though. If I'm on a 5-minute, my time frame confluence is a 30. So that's just not my time frame confluence, but you can come check the higher time frames, and you guys see me do that a lot, especially right now where you're talking about an election, you're talking about Brexit deal, no deal, stimulus deal, no deal. We talked about that this morning. We talked about that stimulus deal, no deal this morning. And I told you guys this morning, you are going to have a beautiful day in the market. Is, you know, based on, because today was do or die. That's what it was. And so this goes back to your emotional intelligence as well. This is another one of our traits, but this goes back to your emotional intelligence as well. Because if you would have been very emotional about the outcome of that stimulus deal, no deal, then you missed this. Let me show you. Let me show you. And then we're going to come back to that trade. Because that happened all around the same time, that second push on that trade. This is why we have to keep our emotions in check. So look at this. Look at this drop. And I'm on a 5-minute chart on purpose because you see what can happen. This morning, we stopped the call early because we had red folders. The news was coming up. I told you all to wait until afterwards, to begin analyzing and taking your trades. So to wait until afterwards for you all to analyze and begin taking your trades. So if you did that, then because if you did not do that, when I said, oh, look at that drop, there was a 100-point drop. This, look at that. That's like a 100-point drop. This is where we were this morning. Okay. This is where we were on a 9 o'clock call. And I said, wait, and you notice that this little, of course, is not because of how big this was. It makes this look really, really small, but this is that 100-point drop this morning. So that's why I said, close your trades. That's why I said we're done trading. The news was going to impact the market. And when he said what he said, when this conference came out, this was a drop. Now let's move over here to your emotional intelligence, because depending on what you were thinking or what you were saying, this is our indice from this morning. So yes, I told you this morning it was going to be a quiet market until everything transpired. We were going to have a market that was mixed. We were going to have a market that did not have much movement until everything hit and everything transpired. So we have our technical analysis, which is the understanding of the strategy. Blue line cross over the red candle, flat top, flat, that bottom, piece or flip. We have that, we understand that. And then we move forward to that's that, and then we move forward to our fundamentals and our sentiment. How do they feel about it? We had so much that was transpiring today that I knew that there was going to be significant movement once it happened. Brexit, deal, no deal. Stimulus package, deal, no deal, do or die, right? Deal, no deal. And then also we have the election. So all of that happening. This is why you're the signal. This is why we ride the wave. Because if you would have been taking a political stance when you heard the news, you missed the trade. If you would have taken a political stance when you heard the news, you missed the trade. Because you were emotional and not focused on trading, not focused on your wealth building, not focused on what's going to manifest in your life. You have to completely dissect all your emotions. You have to completely operate in emotional intelligence so you can properly build a relationship with the market and navigate the market. When that tweet came out, when this no deal came out, if it would have been a deal, the market would have went this way. It would have went up. It would have went in an upward momentum. We would have bought. But because it was a no deal, we went into a sale. And when you look at this and you see this drop, okay, you see the drop, look at that drop. We're talking about 500 points. And does it speak to the criteria? Blue line cross over the red and a downward momentum. Red candle flat top, piece R flip to the top. It actually is in a congruence with the BYOB cash out strategy. I come over here to the tools. Guess what my tools tell me? Guess what my tools tell me? So at first they were giving us sales, buys, because that's what the market was doing. You were absolutely right. It was life changing. And then it switched to sell. So the Vibrato definitely helps you understand how to navigate this. So BYOB cash out on point with the drop, the news spike, and everything else. And then also the Vibrato giving you the indicators to help you understand. You had an incredible day. I'm so excited about that. Hallelujah. You guys know I love a testimony. So we're going to always pause for a testimony. So because you operated in emotional intelligence, and now what's the market doing? It's sleeping, it's resting, it's on pause. Because why? What you used to do after you got a whooping? You calmed down, you had to go take a nap, you had to relax. So that's what the market's doing. It got a whooping today. So, and you know, it got its spike. So we have a relationship. We understand that after a news spike, it's either going to correct right away or it's going to pause and it's going to relax. It's going to take a nap. So it necessarily wasn't to get in and to get out day, because I'm about to go back to that other trade. I'm going back to that other trade. But it was a patience day. That's what it was. It was a patience day. And we're talking about the market is buy, you sell, and you wait. That's it. That's how you trade. You buy, you sell, and you wait. Or should I say you wait first? You wait, then you buy or you sell. So, but it's really buy, sell, wait. That's it. That's how you trade. Buy, sell, wait. So you don't force a trade. You don't do any of that. You buy, sell, wait, and profit, make withdrawals. That's how you trade. And so we ended up, it met the strategy. And where did it stop? At the support line. That's where it stopped, at a support line. So this was just a beautiful day for you to take profit. Oh, you're so very welcome. And then it's our other trade. Okay, this is our other trade. So, and let me go back to this question that I had. I wanted to wait. Is the instruction for someone who does not yet trade to support and resistance 10 pips and cash out? 10 pips and cash out. Like this right here, we're on the hour. So you're on the hour. If you have to it, this is why we start on the, this is a basics night. So I definitely want to help you understand. This is why we start on a 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart, 10 pips and cash out. All right, 10 pips and cash out. 15-minute chart. That's what it is. 15-minute chart, 10 pips and cash out. We were up here this morning. So 10 pips and cash out. That's it, 15-minute chart. Now, when we get that pullback, you know, or when you understand you want to take this to the next level, the first step is understanding I can trade to my support and resistance line. That's the first step. All right, that's the first step. Then if I want to trade on a higher time frame, it was very intentional we started trading on a 15-minute chart. It was not a, oh, this doesn't work on anything else, or it's just a scalping strategy. It was intentional. It was a development strategy. It was a confidence building strategy. That's what that is. That's why we start there. So you can understand that you can get in and out of the market. You can understand that I can scalp, I can pull profit out of the market. That builds your confidence. That helps you understand. Because if you start taking trades from here on the hour, I definitely have to know my support and resistance lines. I need to understand my trend lines. I need to understand some market structure. So that's what that is. And then you have to understand a pullback. Your pullback and your stop loss is much greater on a higher time frame. So there is absolutely no way that you're taking a trade on the hour without knowing my support and resistance lines, because it is no such thing as grabbing, oh, I'm going to get 50 pips. No, you're not. You might, maybe, depending on the currency pair. But what doesn't change, no matter what you're trading, is support and resistance. So that doesn't change. So I'm not getting 20 pips. Why would I? Only 20 pips, I might leave money on the table. So the support and resistance lines help you understand, because that's what the market does. That's one of our areas of value. When you understand the market, you understand areas of value, then that's one of the areas of value. So it's something very important to understand. Very, very important to understand. So for someone who does not yet quite understand, someone who is still in that learning phase and has not been able to look at these support and resistance lines, then guess what? Guess what? Then what you're going to do is you're going to practice them. Perfect practice makes perfect. Let me show you guys this. I am center. I'm going to give you some homework. I'm going to give you guys some homework. We're going to get some homework. So when we get some homework, we're going to come to strategies. Going to come on down here to the harmonic scanner. And when we come down here to the harmonic scanner, you're going to come over here, and what you're going to do is this is going to help you be able to draw support and resistance lines. Now, we're not taking a trade just yet. I'm not taking a trade just yet, but what does this help me do? It helps me understand how to draw support and resistance lines without second guessing yourself, without, you know. So yes, we do take trades off of here in the morning. We do get setups from here in the morning. Because why? To help you understand the power of the tools. Now, I don't trade from here. If you ever see somebody trading from here directly, then you need to correct them. You need to help them understand that they want to increase their profit. They want to increase their accuracy, because it's too many times that we've seen that these trades that come through here, they don't always play out. Why? Because you're not understanding what's happening with the market. So yes, the market will identify a harmonic pattern. That doesn't mean a harmonic pattern is going to play out. We need to take that back to the vibrato, put it back on the vibrato, and analyze it, okay? Because think about it, this is one of them. We had 3 this morning, only 1 played out, which is playing out, and it's at take profit 2 right now. So you don't just take your trades from here. But also understand that when they don't play out, the ones that are playing out are down here to the bottom, okay? If I look at the GBP NZD, the ones that are down here are playing out to, they began playing out. They're just not done yet. So you see that they're actually playing out. So the ones at the bottom are. When I come to the top, once they don't play out, the harmonic pattern does not play out, they fall off of the harmonic scanner. So you can look at this and be like, oh my goodness, all these trades are playing out. No, no, no. It's the fact that if they don't play out, they come off of the vibrato. It's just that simple. Absolutely, you can take a trade from swipe trade, but you need to put it on the vibrato. We've actually done some training on that. So absolutely, but you need to put it on the vibrato. Is everything you just need to put on a vibrato and analyze it, okay? So that's just definitely something that you want to do. So, you know, that's something that you want to do. So now, great. So now what you want to do is you want to make sure that what you're doing is you see where you have your take profits. These are nothing more than support and resistance lines, okay? That is what this is. So support and resistance lines. What is the using of the pivots? Pivot will out. Let me come back to that. So you take these and then you come back to the vibrato and you draw some lines. It's just that simple. So this is happens to be our GBP USD. And so then you just come, but now treat it like the answer key in the back of the book. Treat it like the answer key in the back of the book. Treat it like the answer key in the back of the book, which means that I'm going to come here. You notice I'm on the hour, okay? I'm on the hour. And then of course, I come here and I wanna make sure I'm on the hour. And so then what I do is you can actually change to your line chart because my line chart indicates my closing price. So you notice that I would have moved this up to meet the line chart indicates my closing price. So what you want to do is you want to use the line chart and you want to try to drop your support and resistance lines by yourself. Then you compare it with the answers in the back of the book, which is your harmonic scanner. That is going to help you identify and be able to draw support and resistance lines, okay? That's going to help you. For many of you have done that, guess what happened? You guys are starting to see it with clarity in the market. You're starting to see those lines in the market. That's what you're starting to do, all right? Change it back to exactly, extremely helpful. Take it back to your, take it back to the strategy, the Hikinashi candles, and then of course you can see the lines a lot more clearly in the market, all right? You see the lines a lot more clearly in the market. And so this is, like I said, this is just one of the trades we took this morning, okay? One of the trades we took this morning. You see the blue line cross over the red. It took a while to manifest. By the time it manifested, but some of you all actually were able to take profit. You notice just because this might be take profit one, this is another reason why you bring it back. This is what they said was take profit one. But I also see another one that's actually in between here, okay? Another one that's in between here. So what you see is you see another one that's in between here. Now look right here, all right? So look what you're seeing. I'm not taking the trade just because I said it was take profit one. This morning, there was a significant bounce up right here because we got some Brexit news this morning. So this morning, you know, we got some Brexit news. And so while it looked like it was selling, it bounced back up, it pulled back up. So you need to wait. But even in the midst of that, nothing indicated that we could take a trade. There was absolutely nothing with the BYOB cash out strategy that indicated that we could take a trade. So what happens is the BYOB cash out strategy allows you to take a trade and it allows you to not take a trade. It allows you to really be able to see and understand because it uses those areas of value. Okay, that's what it does. So just for clarity, all right? Just for clarity. Now, okay, questions, comments, testimonies. Now, this is more about the strategy tonight, a little bit of the tools, but we have on the YouTube channel, there is, what about the use of pivots? YouTube channel, there is a plethora of videos that help you understand how to use the pivots. So whether you're using a tool, we've done that too, or you're using the pivots that are dropped on this chart, when we drop the pivots on the chart. So we definitely have done that. And no, you're not getting ahead of yourself asking about swipe trades, because swipe trades is a tool within the company. Those are signals that are issued by, you know, by IM. And so, but even with swipe trades, we'll revisit that. And so even with swipe trades, it's definitely not something that you want to, you want to just take. You are the signal. You are the signal. You never, ever, ever take a trade without analyzing it. You are empowered. So just think about it. You know, we did a radio show today. So, you know, I have a daughter that's in school. Dr. Bythewood coaches basketball. Mr. Rogers has things going on. So just imagine if we were sending signals or if we were putting things out there, and we got life happening as well. The same way you have life, we have life. So imagine if you're sitting back waiting on us and you developed your trade life around us sending a signal, around us feeding you. Now, guess what? You don't know how to analyze the trades. You don't know how to do it. So while my daughter is in school or she's taking a test or something that's transpiring, because Friday mornings is her test day. So just imagine that's a whole block of time that you're not getting trades. That's a whole block of time that you're not able to take any trades. And then she's also in school. You hear me on the calls in the morning sometimes where I pause or you hear a little voice in the background because she's in school. She's on her Zoom calls. So, you know, and she had more Zooms than BYOB. So imagine, you know, just imagine that. So just really want you to understand, if you're gonna strictly build it around signals, and I'm just making this point, then keep a 9 to 5. Keep a 9 to 5, because that's what is, you are letting somebody else be in control of your life. So you're here for freedom. You're here for freedom, which means that you want to be empowered and you want to control your life. That's what you're here for. So I'm not letting anybody control my life. I'm the signal. That means you're the signal. All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. So here we go. So even in looking at this trade, you can see where it came down. Now this happened. Now when Brexit hit, it pushed down. When all the news hit, it pushed down and it broke through. So this is just an example of the strategy, the BYOB cash out. So we have a few minutes left. We got about a little over 5 minutes or so before we end this call, but definitely want to make sure I get all your questions, comments, or testimonies answered, okay? Questions, comments, or testimonies. Questions, comments, or testimonies. All right, when there's a massive price drop or spike due to the news, could the pair recover and resume the trend? No, it's not off topic. That's a good question. And guess what? We've done a training on that too, about the news. So it's on the YouTube channel as well. But just for you to understand that the market is going to recover. When there is a news spike, then what actually happens is the market will correct itself. The market always corrects itself, okay? The market always corrects itself. Remember that. However, you don't want to be in that news spike, okay? This was a news spike. So right here, I mean, this was a news spike. So this was in a sell, but this was a spike today. So remember when I said wait, and if you were not in a trade already, then you don't need to be in a trade. You need to pause, you need to wait, because we had different things coming out. So now right here, what you're looking at is, this was one of those spikes, but you see how the market came back down and corrected itself. This wasn't a big one. For GBP, I'm quite sure that was a lot. So yeah, 45 pips, it spiked up to almost 60, right? So that's GBP. So you understand that, look, the news spiked up and then it came back and it came back down. So it corrected itself, okay? It corrected itself. Now, that's what it did. So if scalping on a 15-minute, do you still need to? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I walk you through that. Time frame confluence, understanding the big picture of the market. Even if you're scalping, is that the lower time frames cannot just tell you what to do. The lower time frames cannot give you no direction on what to do. So they just can't. And when you say take 10 pips and cash out, or take it to, no, when I said take 10 pips and cash out, it was not to take profit 1 or 2 or 3. So in order for you to trade to a take profit 2 or 3, in order for you to take a trade past that, what I said was to the first support or resistance line. Let me be clear. I said to the first support or resistance line. So just like this one right here, if you didn't do any further analysis other than your 15-minute chart, if you didn't do an analysis on a higher time frame, you don't take the trade. So in order for me to go past this point, because this would have been, this is where the trade executed, this would have been that support. I mean, technically you would have had one here, but you see that it went to this one. This is where it actually went to. And then of course you see that it pulled back before it went way back up here. So if I'd have taken this trade from down here, I would have stopped right here, support resistance line. I'm not taking it past that without doing an analysis on a higher time frame. You do not go to a take profit 2 or 3 without an analysis on a higher time frame. You need more analysis. So just you know how many times we've seen the trades where you can trade here and go to your first, so you can go to a support and resistance line, and then that's it. It doesn't go any further. It stops, it bounces, it turns around because it wasn't ready up here. There are many days where we analyze trades from here and then they're not ready yet. They're not ready. So for me to trade on an hour, my confluence is the 4 hour, the 15 and the 4 hour. All right, if I'm on an hour, it's on a 4 hour and a 15-minute chart. That's my drop down. So if I'm looking right here, if I'm here, then I cannot take a trade here until it's ready on the 4 hour. I mean, look at this trend line right here, right? Y'all, once again, don't talk about my trend lines, okay? Just don't do it. All right, so that should let you know you can be an expert because everybody has their thing. Okay, so now as you see it breaks the trend line, you see this is GBP, right? GBP is going to get back in order, but look how it broke. You see, GBP is that kid you don't leave home by themselves. So you see how it came down, right? You see how it came down, and then of course, but on my 4 hour, I can't touch that trade until it's ready on my 4 hour. I can't do it. Right, I can't do it. My confluence is on a 4 hour. That's when I know I could have taken that trade, but I also have to check my 15. You know, I also have to check my 15. So I also have to check my 15. And so when I check my 15, if I can find it again, you guys understand what I'm saying? So when I check my 15 has to still be selling, just like the 5 minute when we trade on the 15. So if I'm gonna go for another take profit, I have to do my analyzation on a higher time frame. So if I'm on a 15-minute chart, the furthest I'm going is to, you know, that's it. So for me to keep going, for me to keep trading, I need to check the higher time frame and do an analysis up there. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Is there a particular video to watch the training? So if you go and there's a getting started video and it's going to tell you how to navigate, you know, how to navigate the YouTube channel, is the academy, and then how you integrate the YouTube channel in there. But there is a playlist pinned at the top of the Telegram chat. And then there's also a playlist called, in that playlist is called Trading the BYOB Cash Out Strategy. I'm going to tell you what most of you do. You watch the first one, that's 6 minutes, that talks about the BYOB Cash Out. Then you watch the second one, it's like 5 minutes, that talks about the time frame confluence, and then you're done. Then you're done. Well, there's an entire playlist that's there and designed to develop to help you understand how to be that master trader, right? And how to properly utilize these tools. And if you go through that playlist, I can only imagine what's going to happen. It's going to answer a lot of your questions. That's why the playlist is pinned and not just one video. So the playlist is pinned and not just one video. So great training as always, Ms. Dyer, you to go. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Euro JPY had a massive drop today as well as others. Thank you for that explanation. You are very welcome. That's why they do that. That's why we do that. The playlist is pinned in the Telegram. Or if you just go to the YouTube channel, it's called Trading the BYOB Cash Out. That's what it is. You are very welcome. Oh, thank you for changing our lives. It is, I'm honored. I'm just glad you allow us to serve you and your family, because that's what this is all about. It's about serving you and your family. And I love the testimonies. I love the life-changing events that transpire, because for you to understand how to navigate these markets, for you to understand how to dig in and make withdrawals from the market, this is empowering. And when you understand what's going to happen, you understand that you're going to have life-changing experiences. You understand that you're going to have a life-changing, I mean, it's just going to change your legacies. It's going to change all of that. So it's just an honor to serve and to see that transition, because there's so many things out there that are not empowering, and people are drawn to that. And so what we want to do is just create an environment where individuals are drawn to success. Individuals are drawn to a shift, because if your family and your household is changed, then that's going to change another family. That's going to change, you know, that's going to change another lifestyle. That's going to change a community. So it's definitely appreciated. Definitely. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. So you definitely have earned a ticket. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you. You have earned a ticket into heaven. I appreciate that. Great job. You blessed me tonight. Thank you. Thank you. At what time a day do pivots reset? So typically, let's put some on here real quick, and this will be the last one because I know I told you guys to go see the pivots. You guys keep asking about the pivots. So let's look at the pivots. Let's look at the hour chart. So we know at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we get a new day. Pivots are, I like that. You said, yes, thank you. They can keep their stimulus. That's what it's for. Oh my goodness, you guys excite me. So that's what it's for, okay? That's what it's for. So it is for you to understand, you create your own fiscal, you create your own stimulus package. That's what this is all about. So you don't have to rely on anyone else, okay? That's what this is all about. So I love it, I love it, I love it. So now, so you see that these are going to happen daily. So these pivots are going to reset daily. So you see right here, we're still in the middle of this one on the hour. If I check my 4 hour, you can kind of see where we are. And of course, on the daily chart, you see that they're going to reset. They reset each and every single day. So you see we're actually in a new one. But on here, they change. They change. Each time frame, they're a little different, all right? So each time frame, they're a little different. So they're going to be at different levels because they're calculated on the open, the close. What is the open, the close? They're on the open, the close, the highs and the lows. So this is how they're calculated. So it's done on each time frame. And so, and this is why I like the pivots on here, because you actually get to see where the one prior to it was. Like the pivot is the middle point, the middle point. So we'll dig a little bit deeper. We got some more stuff to talk about Thursday, but you guys know we got quite a bit happening. Quite a bit happening. We kind of dropped a little sizzle for you today to let you know what's actually coming up and what's transpiring, which is HFX Simplified, right? BYOB Cash Out HFX Simplified. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I told you Mr. Rogers told you, and I told you we got some treats for you coming up here this month. You know, new fiscal year, new life, new experiences. So, you know, definitely. So yes, I'm excited about that too. So now also then the book release is coming up on the 15th. So get ready to place your orders. It's about empowering you and your families. And then also the radio broadcast. So we're on the airwaves now, and we're reaching families. We're reaching you all to help you understand the power and the magnitude of this market, okay? The power and the magnitude of this market. So ladies and gentlemen, it's definitely time to transition this call, and you definitely do not want to go anywhere. You want to make sure that you stay put, because these evenings